So good morning everyone and welcome. Thank you for being here on this wild and woolly day in Nelson. We're starting the few days activity with the Illustrative Category, and we're looking forward to seeing some amazing judging. Remember to give the first print the effort it deserves, the first bit off the cab off the rank. This category is sponsored by the NZIPP, and Shah, you can read the descriptor if you like.
Okay. So the photographs in the illustrative category are intended to illustrate concepts and ideas and provide a narrative that provoke the viewer in a thought process. It includes photographs taken or produced to illustrate a subject or topic. Entries may be commissioned or non-commissioned.
We're doing the run-through room 1. Everybody wants to go in and watch the run-through, and then we're doing the run-through here.
So we're not live? We're live here now.
We need to do the run-throughs. So we're doing the run-through in room 1 first, then we'll do the run-through here, and then the judging starts. A lot of these people might have entries in the other room as well. Yeah.
What is it?
So we've got
Illustrative.
No, wedding opening.
Oh, sorry, wedding opening.
So Tracy, our run-through is here.
Yeah, yeah. We're having run-through here and run-through there. We're just about to start room 1 now.
Right.
The run-through, and then we'll do the run-through here.
Right.
Yeah, room 2 and then room 1.
You'll let us know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on the run-through for the first ring.
Did it just dry up or something?
It's round the outside. There's chairs and signs. If you go around the outside.
What's the facilities like? They've got a cafeteria and all that. Right.
Once we put these things,
Okay, judges, can you take your positions, please, in the front 2 rows, and we'll get the run-through going for you.
She's excited. I'm not so much. I'm excited for her.
I just need Kay.
Her dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, that's seating. Do we? But I'm going to have no exclusions. Okay.
What does that mean? What do you mean that's all?
It's our judges, so we know.
Yeah, so seating at both sides. So if you've got that full seating right down to the bottom. outstanding. Yeah.
The one that got.
All right, so we're good to go. We're going to start the run through.
Okay. Run through. Yeah.
Judges, if you've got any exclusions from the run through, could you bring them up, please? Right, judges, so we'll just read the category descriptor again for you, just so that now that you've seen the run through. The illustrative category is photographs intended to illustrate concepts and ideas that provide a narrative and provoke the viewer into a thought process, which includes photographs taken to produce to illustrate a subject or a topic. Entries may be commissioned or self-commissioned.
Waiting for those scores on.
Well, that's fine.
So who should we go? Richard. Okay. Catherine. Okay, Michael, if you could take a seat, please. Richard. Catherine. Okay. Amber. So we've seen quite a wonderful selection of images that our lovely judges are going to be working with, and we've got a real great collection of judges. And on that point, I'd like to welcome those of you who are watching from outside of the room, people in their homes and things. If you've got images in this category, you're in good hands here, and we're looking forward to a great judging session. So welcome to the panel judges, and let us know when you're ready to rock. So how do we get up here? Is that the first time you see the names? Okay, so we're ready to rock.
Okay, so we have first print, please.
Hit there. Cool. So, when do we see the judges' names come up on the screen? Right, cool. Every news slide you go to. Okay, judges, thank you for that. That's pretty even scoring across the board there. We'll let that print go through. Next print, please. Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, okay. Is there anyone willing to make a comment? Sorry, we'll be a little bit rusty at the beginning here. Anyone happy to make a comment to that print? Oh, sorry, the score was 74. Beg your pardon.
Okay.
Okay, Davis?
Yeah, I mean, and the print itself is actually quite lovely. I guess my eye is drawn to the centre where, to me, the emotion, the action that is coming from the two figures on the extremes on the foreground. So I'm not really getting a lot of emotion in that coming through from the characters in the background, where my eye is actually being drawn.
Thank you very much, Kay, for that. And we'll accept that score. Next print, please. That's great judging, thank you. They're pretty even scores once again. We have a bronze, so that's great. Are there any comments that anyone want to make a comment to that image? Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, we should.
We need to? Okay. All right. Michael, thank you.
Yeah, I actually,
76 is the score, by the way.
76, yeah, I gave it a bronze. I actually felt that the message was a little bit diluted by the way it was framed and the exterior. The interior elements are really strong, and I actually gave it a bronze because of that communication in the middle, but the other elements just distracted it a little bit.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Michael. Next print, please. Accepted score. Next print, please. And in the meantime, could Richard, you jump out, and Tim, you jump in. Okay, that's great. That image has scored a silver at 80. A fairly consistent scoring it once again. I invite the panel to make a comment on the image. Does anyone like to do that? Catherine?
Yeah, she has a beautiful poise. She's like a figurine. The crackle effect through her arms is really beautifully done. Yeah, I applaud the photographer. It's well worthy silver.
Thank you, Catherine. So we accept that score, and next print, please. Yeah, where's the score? Okay. Thank you for that, judges. We have a silver at 80. There's some good scores in there, though. Yeah.
It hasn't actually alerted that there is, but we have someone in the distinction, the silver distinction range. Do you want to challenge?
Yeah, if I can challenge.
Yep.
I think I can. I'm 5 points away.
We can't actually see.
Actually, we can't see your score, Catherine.
That makes better sense.
Because this was
You're looking at us and we're looking at you.
okay. Because that's what it was great. So,
Yeah.
so sorry for anyone out there watching, and those here were a little bit hiccupy at first. So thank you, Catherine. So that score has actually scored a little bit more than 80. It's now on an average of 84, and we have a challenge from Catherine Williams. Thank you.
I can't challenge.
Oh, you can't
No,
challenge.
it's actually Amber.
Amber, I beg your pardon.
Right.
Yep.
I scored this image 88. I think that it's got a really beautifully controlled tonal range, and I just think the photographer has handled this image really well. The communication is strong, and I think that we should come up a little bit.
That's all good. That's all good.
Any other comments?
I'm probably the lowest scorer, so I should really justify that.
Just keep talking.
Okay. Sorry, I was waiting for a direction. Yeah, I felt this kind of plastique. I didn't feel there was a separation between the two characters. I found them both equally painterly. I would have liked to have seen a separation of the elements instead of a combining of the two to make the same statement. So for me, I just didn't feel it was strong enough, so I gave it 78. But I'm open. Talk me through it.
Can I? Sorry.
Yes, Catherine?
All right, so I gave this 87. There's a great sort of luminosity in their faces. Their expressions are incredibly well commanded by the photographer. The humour in his eyeballs is fantastic, and then we have a sort of smizing of her eyes where she's closed them down. She gives us a little wickedness through her eyes. She has a lot of grace through her poise. The control, the way he's strapped in, everything is very intentional, very well planned, and then we're connected with the top of the frame through the ropes that are hanging down instead of everything just floating in there. That connects us and draws everything around. There is a greater brightness through his face and the frame and the background behind, and that which provides a little bit more separation and helps that frame pop out. And also really enjoying the palette that's been presented.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing all those lovely qualities in the image too, but I guess what I'm missing is not quite getting the story of what's behind it. And I guess as an illustrative image, I guess I'm wanting a little bit more. So if writer reply can actually elaborate a little bit more for me on the story. I scored it in the silver range, solid silver, because it is a beautifully crafted image.
Just one comment from Tim, please. Yes, please.
I'm sitting at 83, and I agree with everything that Catherine has said there. I think there's a beautiful Rembrandt lighting on both of the subjects there, and I guess just in a reply to Kay and Mike, I think this frame is purposely being controlled by the woman. She is holding the space, she is holding this man's mouth shut to give out that painterly, perfect world that you see in those 1800 portraits hanging in the homes.
Want to reply?
Thanks, Tim. I think he's articulated that really well. I think that this speaks to feminine frustration, and I think for all the reasons that Catherine and Tim have said, I really feel like this deserves to come up a little bit. So please score
Thank you,
slightly
Amber.
higher.
So the print scored 84. You can re-enter your scores, please. Waiting on you, Michael.
Sorry, I've just finding where to put the score.
Yeah. Well, that's great. It's lifted it into a good, solid distinction range of 87, so well done there. Thank you. And before the next print, could we swap out Jackie for Kay, please?
the review score? Ah, thanks. Great, thanks, Tim. I should have known that.
It's pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's better.
Sorry guys, just one moment. If we could have someone from Honours, if someone could get an Honours member for us, that would be wonderful.
Just check on the right challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So next print, please.
That's traditionally what we've done. Okay, so it's just the same. It's just the same.
So let's take that out again. There.
Scott K's name.
Down one page. There. Yeah. Thanks.
Go to
Delete.
take delete back.
Okay.
And we need to go
Uh-huh.
to Jackie.
Yeah, thanks so much. Jackie's not back on yet. No, she's in there. So she's in there.
Okay, thank you, judges. The initial score is 82. Very, very consistent scoring there, obviously. Would anyone like to make a comment to the print? Thank you, Catherine.
I was deeply moved by this. The girl with the light out, the light had gone out for the girl at the end. Really deeply moved. High level of emotion. Where I would have potentially gone further is if there'd been a little bit more control in the brightness on the chair and the back and the face. It's conceptually very strong.
Thank you, judges. Thank you for that. Goes through at 82. Wonderful silver. Thank you. Next print, please.
So we need to look at swapping out maybe Amber and put in Tanya. Then we'll swap Catherine, then we'll swap Mike.
Might need to swap places. Thank you, judges. The initial score is 76. Bronze award, so clap that. Anyone would like to make a comment there? Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, congratulations to the photographer. It's a really strong graphical piece. I could see this blown up to a large size. Just what held me back from going higher is just on the right side of the frame, there's a bit of shadow on the right side of the rocks where everything else is more flattened with the light. So just more even control with the lighting would bring it up.
Thank you for those comments, Tim. We'll accept that score. And next print, please.
Just one moment. Could we have a blank screen for a moment, please? We'll just do a judge change. Amber, could you pop off, and could we have Tanya Niwa, please?
Graphics on the Sorry. but I agree with what you were saying. Yeah.
Okay, next print, please.
Sharp.
Richard, could you come? Oh, sorry, Elon, could you come in for Tim, please?
Oh, it's not working. So mine's not working either.
Is it not?
Why does this go?
There.
Yeah, no, good.
Why to go? I click something. I just went enter.
Just enter, that's it.
That's
Yep,
it.
yep.
Because it's not great anymore.
Oh, he's under Tim, right? Thank you, judges. That's an initial score of 75. That's a bronze award, so well done. Once again, the scoring is fairly even. Would anyone like to make a comment?
I can make a comment.
Thank you, Elon.
It's a beautiful print. The colors, the color palette is really joyful to the eye. I was lacking some sort of emotional response.
Thank you, Elon. So we'll accept that score. Next print, please.
I think we have a. Can we just have a blank screen, please? Little issue with one of the prints that's coming up next. So if you just take 5 just for a minute, judges. Catherine and Mike, can I get you to? Catherine and Mike, can I get you two to hop off?
Yep.
And Mandy, could you come in, please? And Richard, please.
I had to go above. I had that problem too. Something happened to mine as well. Twice. I don't know why that's saying now. Delete that. Oh, well. You got, oh,
Yeah, why is it?
why is that there? 'Cause
So yours is cleared now.
yeah, put ready for the next print because it's filled. What happens if you go back to this? Where's delete? Delete. I'm not a
PC person.
there you go. So now, I think it's...
Oh, you just go to there. Okay.
So if you click outside, there's other cells out there, but they're...
So guys, we just have a numbering issue on one of the prints, so we're just going to take 5 for a minute just while the Honours Council sort that out for us.
So when you come up, if your name is there, you've got to find it down the bottom here.
Oh, okay.
Amber did yours for you.
Oh, so she did mine. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but you can come up again.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, good. I can find the other person.
Yeah, or you just leave it. And
Yeah.
you might come up and go.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and there's arrows
No,
too.
because I was sitting at the back and I think it was like this. That's what coach couldn't see anything.
So there's some other names that way. So you get, so you get ours are up to same. Yeah, lumberjack this morning. Wet shoes. I just hope there's another 3 or 4 trees that look really dangerous.
So it looks like all the geniuses out the back have sorted that out and we're ready to go again. So next print, please. Thank you, judges. Scores are in, and initially scores are bronze at 76, so well done. Once again, the scoring is very even. Would any of the judges like to make a comment on this print? Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, beautiful print. At first you get quite lost within the nature, but I think that's the intention behind the print. With the first frame being the window shot, it's obviously a nod to the lockdown and potentially seeing things that we take for granted in our front and backyard. And then what really centred it for me was the fantail in the centre, and that really brought it all together. So congratulations to the photographer.
Good comments, Tim. Thank you very much. And we'll accept that and send it through. And we'd like to make another judge swap, please. Tim, can you just hop out for Elan? Thank you. Next print, please.
Russell.
Thank you, judges. The initial score is, the initial score is 76, which is a bronze. However, we do have somebody who's quite for this image, and Mandy, would you like to say anything?
I'm happy to speak to it. Being the illustrative category, I had to spend a bit of time with this, and the story that leaps out for me is the story of a bachelor that has found love and lost love yet again, and told with groceries. It's a fascinating thought process, and how and I'm absolutely intrigued, and I think that in itself deserves a reward. It's an incredibly innovative way to tell this story.
Well, the other judges are all sort of roughly even, but Elan, would you like to contribute?
Yeah, this seems to be a conveyor in a supermarket, and it took me some time to understand it. And I understand the story. It just, there's a few elements that really distract me from a graphical point of view. I mean, there's 3 triptychs, and I don't understand. I mean, maybe there is a reason these are triptychs, but also more from a printing point of view, or photo. There are these separators that you separate items in when there's customers behind you, and these are extremely reflective, and they're not aligned, and they're very distracting to me, those silver bars. And also, it's not consistently photographed. The conveyor is not always the same tone. It's not always the same. I think that what took me away.
Tanya.
The narrative was very strong, and it made me think about the different lives and how we're communicated to the types of people that are purchasing these groceries. And I think the photographer was very creative with this narrative, and it was just the technical side that just needed to be further developed, and this really could be elevated to a higher level if it was just more control.
So, judges, could we rescore that image, please? It scored 7. Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry, Mandy. Quite right. Yeah.
Okay, the messiness in the top one, in terms of the graphic nature of it, it is just that. He's a bachelor. He doesn't have his ducks in a row, everything organized and tight and controlled. And then you see that when the baby comes on the scene and the family comes on the scene, everything is much more kind of contained and structured. And then he loses it again. And it comes back down to in the end, the very last frame is he's like, look, I really want to have my life back into control, and he's got it structured and organized there again. There's so much storytelling here. I think you're underestimating the power of this particular print. This is definitely a silver. I rated it a 85 silver distinction, and I believe it needs to come up from the sheer storytelling chops.
Thank you, Mandy. Could we rescore, please, judges?
Is it the challenge score? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, so I'm in the wrong spot. Mandy, you keep your same score?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Which column? Jackie?
Yeah, one column.
You do have to re-enter your score though, Mandy, as long as it's the same score.
Okay. And I can't raise it?
No.
No. Okay.
In or out?
So we have to go to an image. It's 1, 2, 3. So we need to go to image review.
Okay, judges, well done. Well, it's at 79. So this falls into an image review. So it's in or it's out, basically. So it's a 79 or it's an 80.
Yeah.
So just rescore 79 where it stays where it is, or 80 if you wish to lift. One more. Who's missing? Richard? Oh no, Richard's in, sorry. He's missing. Jackie. Well done to the photographer here. It's lifted to a silver at 80. Thank you. Thank you for that, judges. Next image.
Yes.
Yep. Accept that score. Next image, please. What about changing? You all good? Why has Jackie still got a score there? She scored it already. Thank you, judges. The initial score is 73, so we have a elective challenge. We have a couple of people that might want to comment to this. Tanya or Richard, perhaps?
Yeah, sure. There's some beautiful colours in here that I really appreciate. It's however not possibly quite so innovative. It's definitely something that's been done over and over again. But a beautiful little mandala. I scored it actually a 77. But.
Thank you, Richard. So we'll accept that score. Next print, please. So as soon as we say that, that means we accept all that. Well done to the photographer. We have an initial score of 80. Pretty even judging across the board. Panel. Everyone happy with that? Cool. Excellent. Well, any comments on that image? Obviously, we've got a lot of people jumping up, having a look at it. Anyone like to make a comment? Sure, Richard, thank you.
I found a beautiful little narrative in here, very symbolic. I see the fog that's hazing over what appears to me as an airport, with that leaf sort of acting as a tumbleweed. Unfortunately, I couldn't read the words, though. That was a little bit small for me.
Okay, thank you for that, Richard.
Can we have a blank screen, please? Thank you, judges. Jackie, can I get you to hop off? And Kay, can I get you to pop back in, please?
Next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 80, so that's a silver. Well done. Everyone happy with that? Anyone would like to make a comment to that image? Ilan, thank you.
It is a wonderful piece. I think the expression on the girl doesn't... it would have been better if she actually... So I think that's something that could improve with her expression.
Thank you, Ilan. And judges, don't feel like you have to touch the microphones. They're quite sensitive, so you don't have to lean over too far to talk to them either, apparently. So thank you for that score, judges, and we'll accept that. Could we have a blank screen, please?
Ilan, would you like to step out for a moment, please? And could we welcome back Tim Lomax, please?
And we'll have the next print, please. Accept that score. Okay, we have an initial score of 74. No? Okay, that's very even scoring across the range. We'll accept that. Would anyone like to make a comment? Mandy?
There was a lot of potential that I saw in this image, but for me, what let it down was the inability to actually articulate what the extra elements were and what the background elements were and how that related to the story. I struggled to quite understand that.
Thank you for those comments, Mandy. Could we have a blank screen, please?
Okay, so we'd like a judge change, please. Richard, could you leave the panel, please? And could we welcome back Mike Langford? Tanya, can I get you to hop off? And could we welcome back Amber Griffin, please?
Next print, please.
No problem. No, it's not mine. That one there. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Again, thank you. Ah. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Well done. Okay, we have an initial score of 74. Very even scoring again, judges. We happy with that? Would you like to make a comment, Mike?
Yeah, I found the person so close to the background very confusing. More separation, I think, would have made it stronger.
Thank you, Michael. We'll accept that score. And next print, please. Okay, we have an initial score of 73. Once again, quite even judging. Are we happy with that panel? Okay, would you like to make a comment?
Yeah.
Would you like to make a comment to the image?
I'll make a comment. I feel there should be more separation within the two figures in terms of the clarity of the guy. I would have liked to have seen him a lot sharper to create a little bit more contrast in the story with the figure that has that lovely movement and everything. I feel that some technical things that might have actually helped improve that and lift that further.
Thank you for those comments, Kay. I will accept that score. Next print, please. And if those of you at home think there's a sort of a hush going in the background there, it's because it's pouring with rain here in Nelson. Thank you for that, judges. Looks like the subject is in repose, but the judges are definitely not. We have a wonderful score straight away of 87, a silver with distinction, so well done. Is the panel happy with that score? Would anyone like to make a comment? Amber, would you like to say something? No?
I think that this print is beautifully handled. It's there's a lot of subtle detail in there. The control with the lighting is really beautiful, and it has a really interesting and strong narrative. Congratulations to the photographer.
Thank you, Amber. We'll accept that score. Could we have a blank screen, please?
Thank you, judges. Could we have a judge change, please? Tim and Mandy, thank you. If you'd like to hop off the panel, please. And could we welcome back Jackie and Richard Wood, please?
Yeah, it's good. We're trying to get into the list last. Okay. It's not your problem.
And
Oh, sorry. Next print, please.
has he got another one?
Should we check what it is and see if it says?
I don't think it says it might be friends.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
There's another, he's got another exclusion. I thought it was for this print, but it's not, it's for the next one.
Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 70. Once again, very even scoring across the board there. Are we happy with that? Thank you very much. Would anyone like to make a comment for the photographer? Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, a less complicated background would have made this much stronger. As it is, the tones are very similar and blending.
Thank you, Michael. So we'll accept that score. Can we have a blank screen, please?
Refraction.
Sorry, could we just have a quick, oh no, it's gone.
Oh, no, that's okay.
that-
Sorry, we'll have next print. Thank you.
Sorry, Richard, would you like to step off, please? And Ilana, could you step in, please?
Thank you, judges. Instantly scored a wonderful mark, 86. So that's a silver with distinction. Once again, the scoring is really even across the board. Everyone happy with that score? Jackie, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, really superior narrative here with the matrix through the TV. I think I would have even moved my score up higher if the tones were a little bit. Maybe the paper choice is making it a little bit soft, but yeah, a beautiful work nonetheless.
Sure, the photographer will appreciate that. Thank you very much. Blank screen, please.
So, Ilana, can I get you to hop off? And Richard, please come back on.
Next print, please.
Oh, okay. Catherine, would you mind stepping in for Kay, please?
While the judges are assessing their scores, for those out there who don't know why we're swapping the judges over so frequently, it's such a fair system that a judge feels they won't judge an image if they know the author or have had something to do with that image in helping. So it's a very fair system we have here. And we have some heavyweight judges here, I can tell you.
Can you pass me a glove, please?
The initial score is 81, so well done. We have a silver. We do have an automatic challenge, though, and he's winking at me and ready to jump to the fore. Richard, what have you got to say here?
Yeah, I gave this a gold at 92. Look, beautifully balanced image when I went up to start with. This incredible narrative. I mean, the colours, everything, the mood, the narrative for me. It's the slave of the man, you know, the slave of society, and it appears like he's moving down this escalator to this purgatory. You've got hell underneath, and when I say a slave to society or a slave to the man, you see those video cameras watching him, and it's like he's on this conveyor belt to me in this factory, with his head down. He's zoned out or doped out to this whole numbing of what's potentially going on, arguably in society at the moment. And I just see this sort of in-between state, and he's just moving down, down, down in this purgatory sort of empty environment. I just get so much from it and loved it.
See, Jackie, you felt strongly about this image as well?
I scored at 84. I didn't read what you were reading into it, and I couldn't recognise what those blobs were. They felt a little bit blobby to me. Maybe I did have my glasses on, but I love that idea that they're cameras. I'm moved by it. The composition is really superior. The subtlety of the wool in the background and the reds and the colour palette print is great. So I scored at 84, and I'm listening to Richard, but maybe a silver distinction at this stage.
Michael, how about yourself?
Yeah, look, I didn't get the narrative, so thanks, Richard. It makes sense now, so I'm definitely coming up. I find it, I guess, with the narrative being explained, I'm finding it original, and I think that's a very important word.
Great comments. Anyone else, or right of reply? Richard.
Yeah, it is very innovative, and just that stunning power of those colours. But to me, again, look, it's that dystopian, futuristic, lonely situation that we're staring down the barrel of at the moment.
Okay, so we have an initial score of 81. Would you like to rescore, please?
Catherine, can you just make sure that you're in your tab, please? Not Kay's.
Is that challenge score? Yeah.
I don't have a box.
Hang on, scroll down. Just
So, well done, Richard. You lifted that image to a very high silver distinction at 88. Congratulations to the photographer. We'll accept that score, and next print, please.
Catherine, could you stay, actually, please? I was going to make a judge change anyway,
sorry.
so if you'd like to just hang there, that would be great. And if we have the next print, please.
I put my score in the wrong spot.
Okay,
Highlight it, delete it.
you should be able to change it, Jackie, as long as the other judges haven't put all their scores in.
Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 76, a bronze. So well done to the photographer there. Scoring's fairly even. We do have one judge who thinks a little bit more of the image. Is she happy to accept that?
You want to comment?
No.
Yeah,
Yes,
I just really quite liked the treatment of the image. I think it's really unique. The colour tones are also really unique. But I am definitely struggling with the communication a little bit.
What score did you have?
I gave it an 82.
So we accept that?
Maybe, yeah.
Michael, would you like to say something?
I don't need to be negative. It's okay.
Okay, thank you, Michael. So we just accept it, or is it a challenge?
Well, it
It's
is
a
an
bit
elective.
vague
It's an
there.
elective.
It was an elective challenge. Would anyone else like to say anything, or do we leave it to Amber? Jackie, you're talking to yourself there, or you want to have a chat to the mic?
No, well, I scored it at 74 because of the confusion of where the car's coming out of itself. You know, I could come up into bronze because of its innovation and interesting, but I just felt like it was a bit of a flip negative image and of a file, and I wasn't sure about how the subject was relating to this monochrome background.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, it scores bronze already, so Amber, would you like anything else to say? That's all good. We're happy
No,
with the score?
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy with the score? Great. All right, well, it scored a bronze. Well done, thank you. We'll accept that score.
They're meant to.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon.
It's a
To
challenge.
yes, I'm a virgin panel chair here, so I'm making a few blues. Okay, so could you enter your scores so that it can pass through as a challenged print?
So Amber, you just hold your score.
You just hold your score,
Yep.
Amber. Yep. Michael, thank you. Thank you, judges. 76. Thank you very much. We'll accept that score. Next print, please.
Can we have a blank screen, please? Sorry, guys. So, Tanya, could you please come in for Amber? And Elan, could you come in for Mike, please? Okay, and next print,
Just got to
please.
find myself. Oh, there. Yeah. Right there.
We're close to our time, so that's good.
Okay, cool. The words aren't coming out. What I still have to do is make scroll. Okay. Somewhere with video to do. Sounds like
Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 74. Once again, the scoring is fairly even across the board. Are we happy with that score? Would anyone like to make a comment to that image? Jackie, thank you.
Yeah, I scored it 77 because of its a lovely idea, but what's happening in the background on the right-hand side, I think, with the light coloured sand is distracting and pulling the eye away.
Thanks very much, Jackie. We'll accept that score. Next print, please. Just when it's raining heavily, judges, you might want to talk a little bit louder into the mic, perhaps.
Judges, we have heard that the heating has been turned up, so we're hoping that this is a very, very big building and it's extremely cold and violent outside, so we're hoping that it will warm up soon. If you do feel like popping up and doing a few star jumps, then by all means do so, just to keep that energy levels up and keeping our extremities warm.
Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 75. Bronze. We're happy with that. Thank you. Would anyone like to make a comment on that image? Thank you, Richard.
Interesting little narrative there about time and the restriction of it. But just watch your tones down and separation between the fingers and the wall there, and also down through the trousers.
Thank you, Richard. We'll accept that score. Next print, please. I beg your pardon?
Can you take the screen back round, guys, please?
And rotate the print to landscape,
It needs
please.
to be a landscape print, not a vertical. There might be an arrow on the top of the print.
Okay, thank you, judges. We've got a good solid bronze there, but we do have someone who's feeling a little bit more passionately than that. So, Catherine, would you like to challenge that image?
Absolutely. I gave this 87. Your eye weaves around this and looks at all these subtle, static details. And then as you go from the first image to the last, you see the story of lockdown with the dates 11:59 to 11:59, with the centre being what's being told on the TV throughout the lockdown, the narrative, the seemingly random placement of the objects, and then we see these three screenshots through the middle, tells us that everything at this time was revolving around what was on the screen. That was the centre focus of everything. And then you see all the indications of what this person was doing. They were getting out the jigsaw puzzle. They were making hot cross buns. They were making ship in a bottle. And then there is this richness to the colour that weaves throughout as well. And it all just ties in together. Gives us a real sense of time and place.
That's a great comment on the image. Catherine, Tanya, would you like to say anything? Okay, Jackie?
I scored at 77. I'm listening to you. Every image has been very well thought out and considered. I do like that idea of the start and the end of the story. I think that does elevate it. And those three images in the middle being more powerful than all the other little elements around. I guess part of me pulling back was just the busyness of it, of a quiet time, that there's so much going on, and maybe a bit of a lack of emotion that was there. It's a bit clinical. That's why I was on 77.
Would anyone else like to comment before Catherine makes her right of reply? Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, I was at 75. I gave it a bronze, awarded it for those reasons you were saying, Catherine. But yes, it didn't move me in any way, and I got a little bit stuck on the top left with the double up image of, I think it's a clock or something there, and then there's a block to the right of the centre where there's a lot of red. I just think the order of the images could have been thought out, and yeah, just a little bit better.
Thanks for those comments, Richard. Catherine?
Yeah, just also want to really reflect on the beautiful print quality. It has a lovely quality to it, and we are looking at essentially mundane objects that have been designed in a way for our eyes to weave around and realise the narrative we've been told, which is the central point, everything revolving around what's going on through the media.
Thank you, Catherine. The print score is 78. Can we rescore, please? Okay, well, it jumps up 1 point to 79. So we have a image review score. So 79 stays where it is. 80, it lifts up. Could we rescore, please? Thank you, judges. It stays where it is at very strong bronze. Congratulations to the photographer. Blank screen, please.
So thank you, judges. Jackie, could you hop off, and could Mandy Lynn come on, please?
Next print, please.
School didn't move.
There was a score.
Can we just hold putting any more scores in, please, judges, just for a moment? Tanya, you should be able to change your score because all the judges' scores aren't in.
Okay.
Thanks, Catherine. Well done, judges. This image scores 81, a silver. Very even scoring across the range. Panel happy with that score? Would anyone like to comment on the image? Thank you, Catherine.
Just to applaud the photographer, the wave is violent. It has a really, really effective three-dimensional feel where the sharpness is placed and the wave splashing up, and then this little curiosity of the object peering up. It's fabulous.
Thanks very much, Catherine. So well done, a silver, 81. And we'll accept that score. And next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 74. Fairly even. Is the panel happy with that? Ilan, would you like to make a comment?
It's an interesting choice of color palette. I think it could have been improved with it was distracting, those scratches, those physical scratches on the image, the white, and how fuzzy, it's slightly too much. I think less is more in that case.
Thank you very much, Ilan. We'll accept that score. Next print, please.
Can we have a blank screen?
Blank screen, I
please?
beg your pardon. We'll accept that score.
Okay, so thank you, judges. Ilan, would you like to hop off? And could we welcome back Tim Lomax, please? Catherine Williams, can I get you to hop off? And welcome back Kay Davis, please.
Next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 74. We happy with that score? Thank you. Could we have a comment from Mandy?
I feel that it was beautifully simplistic, and I love the monochromatic palette.
Thank you very much. We'll accept that score. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 75, which is a bronze. Happy with that? Any comments? Tim, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a very beautifully presented print. I think the choice of a black foam core matte really emphasises the contrast between the browns and the blues. I think what's holding it back for me is maybe the overworking of the blue sky, but the sand is really beautiful, and you really did capture the movement from the wind over it, so congratulations.
I'm sure the photographer will really appreciate those comments, Tim. Thank you. Could we have a blank screen, please?
Thank you, judges. Richard, if I can get you to hop off, please. And Mike Langford, would you mind popping back on? Tania, I'll get you to hop off. And could we welcome back Amber Griffin, please?
And we're doing well, judges, but we just clip it along a little weeny bit.
That's the whip.
Oh, next
And
print.
next print, please.
I'm the one taking all the time.
To bring you blink.
No.
That's it, bud. This one.
Wrong one.
Take that score down, please. Thanks, Mandy.
Okay, well done. The image scores an initial score of silver at 80. There is an elective challenge by Mike if you wish to take it up.
Hi.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, I gave this 86. I really appreciate the shape, I guess, of the fire in the background that's almost humanesque, and it's sort of symbolic of lots of things. And I think the symbolism of that light coming out of the dark has just really quite elevated it to a silver with distinction for me.
Okay, in support, closest to you, Mandy, perhaps. Pass, okay. Anyone else like to make a comment?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I'm possibly down the other end of the scale. I guess I really find that the colour palette and the way the treatment has been beautifully handled. But I guess again I'm struggling to find the narrative in the image, which again is illustrative category. I'm really searching for some sort of narrative to give me something to hold on to.
Michael, will you be able to help your colleagues out with that?
Yeah, I'm trying. Look, the symbolism of the background, it being a cross and also being a wood. We've got so many forest fires happening at the moment. I'm just making this up, okay? I'll leave it, thanks.
Okay, judges, so initial score was 80. Would you like to rescore, please?
Mike, you just hold you put your score in just as it is. You need to re-enter your score.
I do? Okay.
Your original score.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. It lifts it to an 81, so congratulations to the author for that. So we'll accept that score. Next print, please. Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
change
Yeah.
that, sorry.
Yes, you
Just
can
re-enter,
change
Kay.
as
Yep.
long as all the other
No, she
judges
just
have
put it
not
in the wrong
entered
place. Yeah.
into their scores.
That's all right. Excellent, thank you. We have an initial score of a silver at 83.
Challenge?
Challenge, okay, go for it.
Yeah, I'm.
What have you scored, Kay?
Oh, sorry, I scored at 87. Solid. I think this is solid silver distinction. I find the humour is really been cleverly done with between the three characters that we're seeing. The composition is strong. We're seeing three figures that each of them are uniquely positioned and hold great strength within the image overall. The quirkiness, to me, it's about the quirkiness, which is about the communication that I'm seeing and the emotion that I'm seeing within the image. And aside from that, it's been beautifully crafted. Everything is believable. Everything is drawing my attention, and the more you look at it, you find little pieces in there that are interesting and scintillating. So, yeah, I've scored at 87, a solid silver distinction. For me, for the level of imagination and creativity and communication that I'm getting from the image.
Can you add to that, Mandy?
For me, it's an interesting commentary on the draining of color from the Christ figure. And there's so many levels of symbolism in here, it's hard to take in just one sitting. So for me, this is illustrative. It's silver distinction.
Tim, you were close, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I get all the story there. I think just on the cusp with the imagery itself, and just is it oil or blood coming out from his stomach, just kind of was a bit muddy for me, but I'm definitely listening to the other judges.
Okay, write a reply.
Possibly don't need to say much, but I think it's been well treated, well handled. It's the quirkiness, the humour that we're seeing, and it is an illustrative piece. This is a strong illustrative piece, so which represents to me silver distinction. So I'd like you to join me if you can, judges.
Okay, thank you for that. So let's rescore, please. The initial score was 83.
I hold mine, don't I?
Same score.
Same score, Kay. Well done, judges. Thank you, Kay. That image now is a silver distinction at 86. Accept the score. Next print, please.
Thank God you are.
Well, we have some great scores there, and it's straight into a silver distinction at 86. Pretty even across the board. Are we happy with that? Excellent. Could we have a blank screen, please? Oh, comment, a big pardon, while we do that.
Brilliant storytelling The ability to show how we handle trauma in one image is such a stunning thing. Thank you.
Congratulations to that photographer. So a blank screen, and we have a change.
Okay, thank you, judges. Mandy, could you pop off the panel, please? And could we welcome back Jackie Rankin, please?
Next print, thanks, guys. It's a good system. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score at a bronze, 77, so well done. We do have an elective challenge from Kay if she wishes to take it up.
I scored this in the low silvers. I felt I wanted to reward the storytelling and the humour that I'm seeing in the image. I guess I would have even gone higher if perhaps I'd only seen one of those series, because I think the two together conflict with each other a little bit, or compete with each other a little bit. I really enjoy the lower series of images, just the narrative, the story, the humour that's coming across, and moving this fridge. I think it's a fridge or something, and how it's being handled. But yeah.
Michael, would you like to support the print? No? Okay. Anyone else like to comment? Jackie, thank you.
I scored at 72, and so I need you to say why. I was getting quite confused about the lighting. Let's talk about the bottom row, going from bright light into the shade, and the story isn't really engaging. Putting a refrigerator in the back of a car, and then the top one, I couldn't see how they were relating together very well, from far away to close. And is it just about what's happening on top of the roof, or is it what's inside the car? That's where my confusion was, and the big dark black border around the edges, pulling my eye out of all of that scene. Maybe against white would have been better for me to read that, but they were my problems. Okay.
Thank you, Kay. Right, a reply?
I think what we're looking at here is a movie strip, basically a film. So we're seeing small sequences in a film. I agree. I find the confusion between the top layer and the bottom layer, and that's why I said I would have gone higher if they'd chosen only probably the bottom layer. In terms of, I guess, the lighting, you're talking about the lighting in the third image. It's a different location, so that it is actually providing that different lighting. So the first two are putting it in there, and the second one, I've got there, and they've moved it to a different location. I'm seeing different buildings in the background, and it's just, I guess it's not something we would do in New Zealand. We don't transport objects like in this manner, and I guess different cultures do this sort of thing. I spent a bit of time in China, and how they create and do things is innovative. So I guess it's about the struggle of creating. Just seeing the humour and what happens in everyday life for some people. So
thanks for that contribution, Kay. And let's initial score 77. Let's rescore, please. Thank you, judges. It's moved up 1 point. It's still a strong bronze. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Accept that score. Next print, please.
don't press delete. Oh, just
Okay, thank you for that. The initial score is 80, so silver, well done. We do have an elective challenge if he wishes to take it up with Tim.
Yep.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, this image is really beautifully presented. I think the paper choice is an excellent choice with the semi-gloss. It's a great depiction of urban extraction. There's a lot of elements there that kind of takes you around the frame. I do love, in the third line, there's a wee pause button, and then 2 along, there's a wee love heart. So I kind of feel like there's emotions of stop and start, and there's a real, beautifully handled print. It's just really well presented to us, and that's why I gave it an 85.
Thank you, Tim. At the other end of the scale, Kay?
Yeah, I've scored 74. The reason being that this was definitely had initial impact for me. However, when I get up close and look at each of the individual images, they're very, very soft. And for me, that was distracting from the, I guess, yeah, enjoying the image, but in terms of the quality of the image, it has let it down. So I've put it just below an award range.
Thank you, Kay. Jackie, what would you like to say?
I've scored it 82, and I really think it deserves that, and perhaps higher. I think it's not something that you're meant to go up to closely and look at individuals. I think it's meant to be seen as a whole, and it's quite meditative. It's very well thought out and calming. The longer I was looking at it, I was feeling I could sit here and look at it for a long time, and that's what engaged me into that silver range. Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. Tim, bring it home.
Yeah, thanks for the conversation, guys. I think this is a clear celebration of urban extraction, a celebration of line and form, and because our eye can dance around this image, I think that paired with the brilliant quality in print, I think we should award the photographer.
Great comments, thank you. Could we, initial score's 80, could we rescore, please? Excellent, it's a strong silver at 84 now. Congratulations. Happy? Okay, we'll accept that score. Next print, please. Well done to the photographer here. We have a silver at 81. Is everyone happy with that? Amber, would you like to comment on that?
I would love to comment on this. I think this is a really beautiful image. To me, it looks like the dancer is reaching for the key to her future, but she's held back perhaps by inflexibility, by the chain around her ankle. I think the lines that the photographer has achieved in here are lovely. I would have been able to score it higher if her left shoulder had just dropped a little bit to complete the line from fingertip to fingertip. But tonally, I think it's a beautiful image, and I love the narrative. Well done.
Thank you very much, Amber. So that was just a comment, really, so we just accept that. So well done to the photographer there, 81. We'll accept that score, and next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have a score of 79, which is a lovely bronze, but it's sort of sitting on the fence there. Michael, would you like to speak to the print?
Oh, we
I
have
thought
to
it was automatic.
review.
Oh.
There's a review.
Oh, an instant review. True. Okay, well, there you go, all you wise ones. Okay, well, it's sitting on the review side of it. It's in at 80 or out at 79. So rescore, please.
Do we do that in the, oh, over that side?
79 or 80.
Okay.
I was enamoured by the subject, so I was distracted. One score to come. From who?
Oh, did mine not go? Was that me?
Yes, it is you.
Why didn't that work?
Amber.
Sorry.
It's all good. Well, it stays where it is at 79, but nonetheless, well done at strong bronze. Could we have a blank screen, please?
Comment.
Oh, comments, beg your pardon, yes. Comment, let's go. Go on, Michael.
Well, I gave it 80.
That's right.
Because I actually thought the character of the dog suited the atmosphere in the room, so that was the balance of the two that took it across the line for me.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, judges. Could we have a judge change, please? Thank you, Jackie Rankin. And could we welcome back Catherine Williams, please?
Next print, please. Okay, thank you, judges. We have an initial score at a strong bronze at 78, but we do have one standout, an elective challenge if she'd like to take it up. Different scoring range? No? Okay, sweet as. Happy with that, so we'll accept that score. And next print, please.
You want to comment?
Oh, beg your pardon. Yes, would anyone? Kay, would you like to make a comment?
I actually found the image quite compelling and just enjoyable. I think the photographer, again, I'm not sure that all the text is really entirely necessary. I think it would have been nicer having a little bit less to allow the viewer a little bit more opportunity to interpret the image themselves.
Thank you, Kay.
Yeah.
Sure those comments will be appreciated. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 78. Good, strong bronze. Panel happy with that score? Thank you. Kay, would you like to make a comment to the image?
actually, I hate the word enjoy. We're not allowed to say this, but I enjoy the image. I think it's an understated image in terms of being able to appreciate what we're seeing. It's been beautifully printed and beautifully crafted. I think maybe for me it's not quite balanced within the frame in terms of the frame it's been placed. But I think it's been beautifully captured and presented.
Thank you, Kate. We'll accept that score. Next print, please. So I think Mike's, has he got an image in the digital that is works? No, that's fine. And they're all clear. It's just Mike must be digital. We'll do a judge change at the end of this. Thank you, judges. Drawing straws. It scores very strongly at an 85, which is silver's distinction. Is the panel happy with that score? Okay, let's have a little look here. Amber, would you like to comment on that image?
I really enjoy this image. Tonally, I think it's beautiful and it has a lot of detail around the story. To me, it says just about the obsession with indoor plants, and I think it's just a really well handled print.
Thank you very much for that. We'll accept that score, and guess what? There's no more prints. We're now onto the digitals.
So judges, there'll just be a few minutes while we change the screen over. If you'd like to have a little stretch, that would be great. If our panel remains as they are, we would just like to swap Elan onto the panel and Richard. And if Tim Lomax and Mike Lanford could take a little break, please.
Right. Thank you. How much time do we have?
The previous one, I was just going to give a constructive comment. That's all. Instead of saying just saying you like it. It's a good little system, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I just have to know whether the next image.
No, it's just that I actually thought what they needed for comments was to how could you improve the print sort of thing, and so that's all I was saying. Well, that forest fire, how embarrassing is that? I mean, you get asked to sort of make up a story, this way, you can't. It's just fast. We'll see the plan. Yeah. That's right. We haven't used that today. Which was that?
correct, you were correct.
Oh, seriously?
No.
Yeah, I was just worried about that. Doing well. I found that especially confusing. Everything was treated.
Guys, we've got images on the screen. Can you cover up the screen so it's short?
It's very high tech.
Making me see something.
Technology.
Yeah, yeah.
You just need to get a blank image or maybe a title slide you can put in each one.
Good idea.
But they'll be made already for the.
Yeah, let's swap that up.
Get that.
I'll give them a go.
Well, just a file. Maybe the number, the first one.
Whereabouts?
Yeah.
We'll work things for the next section.
In the room that I call it.
I'm going to check it out. I've got like 9 slides in there to go. I'll just get that.
Almost like a Rousseau.
Okay, judges, we're ready to take your seats. So could we have Kay Davis, Elon Wittenberg, Amber Griffin, Catherine Williams and Mandy Lynn, please.
You should put it on a swivel.
Yeah, we need a little one.
No, a swivel.
Attach it to that and
No,
actually
it's,
turn it round.
there is this Japanese.
Laser suit's different.
Me.
So this is
Right, that's true. We're seeing the beginning.
Okay, so
Thank
we're
you,
ready?
Ian.
It's interesting to see the difference.
So just one moment, we don't have, that image is not what we've got on our screen here.
It's lost.
Do I need to press the button?
You will need to scroll down.
Just setting up so that we've got our digital screen, guys, so it won't be a few minutes and we can get underway for our digital images.
Scroll down. You clicked on this. Very sophisticated.
How do you look at me?
No, you're good. Yes, apparently I tried to see. I couldn't see. I was in here. It's a bit tricky because it's row 42 for some reason. Why not 4? Yeah.
Keeping us in that void of nothingness. So you do.
If I keep my head, is it cold? Because I feel cold in my head.
So do I.
You know, hypothermia is from the head.
I know. That's where you lose all your heat.
50%.
Oh, that's why you have a hat on.
Well, I used to have hair.
The hat really suits you. It looks cool.
It does?
Yes, it does.
Sometimes I have this sort of, I see people always wearing a hat and I think something is wrong with their head. Maybe something is wrong with my head.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, it adds to your charisma, you know.
Is it? Would you give me a note?
Yes. It's good.
They're recording.
It's working for you.
It's a bargain.
My favorite are on the tubes.
I wish hats were more worn. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at old movies and everybody's wearing a hat, they just look so well dressed and elegant.
And that was strange. It's so cool.
6 months later, I see the hat at my doorstep. She lifted it.
Oh, wow.
And then,
She gifted it to you. Oh, that's nice.
you know, she didn't
What
look
are
at me
the
like she
girls
dropped
focusing
it.
on?
I think, wow. For someone to, I gave her some photos. But
Oh, yeah.
for someone to give you something without, like, it's not that much.
Unusual, eh?
Anyway, I had another woman who came and she said, every woman should own this.
Yes.
And she's It's nice to have a best friend. You know, so you've got your back covered.
Sorry guys, we're just having a wee few technical issues here, but we'll be underway pretty soon.
I had that, so when I was in middle school, I had a threesome, and I always had that up. Simply because they lived on the same street as the street town. So we do.
It's crazy, eh?
We do. Having to work harder.
I guess it's the most similar.
No, this one is
Oh, really?
the table.
So that it's in the same place. But it's not being lit by these, is it? It's
No, I know.
back and it's
Still even, but
yeah, okay. Or maybe they can just tilt it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah.
So there've been no goals so far. Sorry? There's been no goals so far.
Like, really.
Yeah, and they've got a super distinction.
Isn't this summertime?
It's raining?
No.
There's that ambient noise.
She's so cold.
I'm very glad to be inside.
Yeah, but I have to go back
Yeah.
at some point.
I love the idea of homeschooling. I think I see these kids in school right now, and I feel like they're being shut down as opposed to open up. And I'm like, what? You know, like I watch them get dumber and dumber as they get older, and it's so sad. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Absolutely. It's interesting. I was watching these, and I'm like, you realize that as photographers, especially in this category, we are kind of like the sages of the future. 100%. Yes, in a suit.
Because I've kind of seen things like it's all by screen.
Yeah.
But not the transhumanism. I felt like that was the transhumanism expression.
Yeah. No, I totally see it. Yeah, I know that one I just kind of sat there far out. And the other one with him going down the escalator, I was wishing, because I wasn't on the panel for either of those. I was like, you know.
Well, I'm way us in that line. That's the mark.
I've got gloves at home and like a suitcase.
I did, because I didn't go see it.
I've got some in my suitcase. I'll bring them tomorrow.
It was one of those that resonated on the screen. Yeah.
For those people watching at home who are sitting by their fires with their hot toddies, you can feel for us here with our freezing cold feet and freezing hands and very wet Nelson. However, it does keep the minds sharp, so we're happy for that. Still just working out our first digital slide to come up.
Did you notice the yellow of COVID? That was okay, because it was the same term really rubbish using on.
What was I think it's supposed to be better tomorrow.
Yeah, the next few days, and then I think it's raining again.
Oh.
With all the surveillance.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
This is not fair. One man, 4 women. This is not how we should run this case.
No, it's not. There should be at least 2 men on the channel.
I rest my case. Unless one of you wants to go through a sex change operation very quickly.
Thank you.
Peg's not.
It's quite all right. Yeah, Beck's not.
I'm fairly comfortable how I am.
and others on this completely me. Other one.
Yep.
Did you?
Pixel issue. Okay.
American.
Ready when you are.
Just,
Judges, could you take your positions, please? Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Go back.
Oh,
Go back.
go back one.
So that's on the other machine?
Oh my God.
Sorry. It would have been really easy to run the whole machine. That wasn't possible.
No problem.
Judges, are you happy with the tilt of the screen from where you're sitting?
Do we need to get up?
You treat it like a friend.
Okay.
Oh, we get up and sit. Okay, yeah.
Sure, do whatever you need to do.
We're still figuring out the nuances.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, thank you, judges. We have an initial score at a bronze of 75, and the scores have been fairly even across the board. Are we happy with that score as a panel? Nodding of heads. Would anyone like to comment on that? Perhaps Amber again?
Sure. I love the energy and emotion expressed in this image. I think what would have improved it for me is if a little more attention to detail had been played to the posing of the hands. And there's just a lot going on in the explosion areas, and some of it I just don't quite, I think maybe there's just a little bit too much of that going on.
Thank you, Amber. We'll accept that score.
Can we just have a little judge change, please? Kay, can I get you to hop off, please? And Richard Wood, can you jump in? Amber, can you hop off? And can I have Tim Lomax, please?
Compulsive spending.
Yeah, it was all thereabouts.
Oh yeah, I've been doing that.
Okay, are we ready, judges?
Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of a bronze at 77. We do have a range of scores, though. Would anyone like to challenge the score, or are we all happy? Okay, no great jumping up and down there. So perhaps, Catherine, would you like to make a comment on the image?
Absolutely. Fabulous textures in here. It felt a little bit, there's some softness in the figures on the right, and there's some real harshness in the textures that are laid over them, which felt a little bit disharmonious to me. some energy with the feet on the right also felt disharmonious, and I'm enjoying the overlay of the texture and the tartan, but it's quite competitive with the subject behind, and my eye doesn't really know where to go to, and therefore it ends up in the bright patches in between the void.
Lots of comments there, thank you very much, and we'll accept that score. And next image, please. Thank you, judges. We have a very common stream of thought there. It's scored 73. Happy with that. Would anyone like to make a comment? Thank you, Ilan.
No, we have a challenge from...
Do we? Oh, yes, we do.
No, go ahead.
Potentially.
Do you have
An
a
elective challenge from Catherine, if she wishes.
I wasn't challenging.
Okay.
No, yeah. So, Ilan, please.
Yeah, interesting patterns and composition. I think that vertical line across the center of the image, you took a lot from me. A simpler image would work better.
Thank you, Ilan. It's 73. We'll accept that. Next image, please. Thanks, judges. We're just slipping behind time a little bit, so if we could be a little bit more efficient, it'd be great. Okay, you all seem to concur there. The image scores 72. Would anyone like to make a comment? Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, solid professional standard. Just when looking at the composition, I'm drawn to the water when I feel like the focus is potentially the foot. So just maybe look at the balance of composition overall, but greatly handled in tonality as well.
Thank you, Tim. We'll accept that.
Okay, judges, I'm going to take a little moment just to elevate the screen a little bit for you, just to help with viewing. Thank you.
Mission Impossible. I asked to lift the screen, and they said no way.
Well, because I don't know.
I'm so powerful.
Thank you, Ian.
That's impressive.
I'm impressed.
That's great. Thank you, Ian.
Judges happy?
Yeah.
Excellent. Away you go.
That's not changing.
Thank you, judges. We have very similar scoring there. The image scores 72. Can we have a comment from the panel, anyone? Mandy, thank you.
Sure. If I see where you're going with this image, but it's being let down by the storytelling element. I believe that's meant to be a heart, but I'm having to make a guess. So that in itself, if it had been clear as to what she was actually toying with, that would have elevated it into a potential award.
Thank you, Mandy. We'll accept that score. And just considering, can you just bend your microphones towards you a little bit so when you're bending over you're a little bit closer and it's a little bit clearer. Some people can't hear. So thank you. Just gently though, Mandy.
I think everyone at home is awake now.
Did you say to bend it towards us? Or
Okay, so the image scored 72. Thank you. We'll accept that. Next image, please. Thank you, judges. Fairly consistent scoring again. 74 average. Can we have a comment from, let's have a little look. Catherine, you can have a go this time.
Sure, absolutely. There's a nice balance through here. The colours that we're seeing in the moon gave me something a little bit different to look at. It wasn't taking me any further in terms of seeing a narrative or an innovative composition to take it higher for me.
Thank you, Catherine. 74, we'll accept that. And next image, please. Okay, so we have an initial score of 80, which is a silver, but we have an automatic challenge from Catherine Williams.
Yeah.
And what was your score, Catherine?
I gave this 91, a gold. I don't know what this is about, but I know it's wild, and the colour is electric, and the shapes are electric, and there's so much energy. We're seeing the fish presented in a really a state of frenzy and colour. And then off to the left, we've got these two fish, the two silvery fish that appear like they're in a little dance. And it's all contrasted with the murkiness of the underworld. I don't understand why they are where they are, and I don't feel like it matters. We've got these just creatures presented in a very, very innovative and unique way. And I'm just riveted by what's going on here.
So I see you rewarded the print as well. Richard, do you want to have a comment?
Yeah, I was on above the average here, 83. I'm the same, Catherine. Like, for me, just the way it feels and it looks and the dynamic and the way that those lines kind of could represent that random direction of where those fish are going. And but for me to go higher, I needed that narrative, and I searched, and I'm looking down at the branches as such that come under the water and the birds above. My eyes did keep seeing the McDonald's M and the lines there, but I just desperately wanted to find that narrative. But as a piece, I can really appreciate it as far as what my eye is doing, and I want to search more. But I rewarded that with a solid silver there.
Tim.
Yeah, I've given this a 74, and I think I've been a bit harsh. I really enjoyed the electric colours in the fish on the right side of the frame. I felt the crop is what let this down, and potentially the dark, is it birds on the left top, kept pulling me away, and they kind of add a murkiness to it. And I understand with the water underneath as well, but I really did struggle with this. I'm going to come up. But I really think a crop focusing on the electricity and the dancing of the fish on the right side would have just given you much more of a pop than what we've got in front of us, and that's where I struggled with my scoring.
Elon.
I scored it slightly low. The biggest struggles were for me, in addition to the M McDonald, which is actually bigger than that, is the murkiness. When I say murkiness, it's so much noise in the sky. I actually thought these were mosquitoes initially because it's so but the amount of noise, digital noise, I understand that the water has to be murky, and I can get that, but the sky, so much speckle and specker and whatever that is, and some fish actually fly, and the whole thing, I simply couldn't get the story, and I still am struggling with the whole idea.
So, Catherine, got your hands full.
All right. So, in terms of originality of thought and concept, we're seeing a highly original presentation in terms of both the colour palette that we're presented with, which is highly unusual to see this in fish. The crop itself, the tension on the edge where it flows out of frame, adds to the sense of continuous movement. And the lines represent the continuation of this movement and the shapes and the dance and the intertangling and how these fish are working together as a community in themselves. And all of this is placed against the murkiness to really bring that pop of vibrancy and colour and electricity to it.
All right, let's see how that enthusiastic response works. So we'll rescore judges. The initial score was 80. Nice, lifted to a good strong silver at 83. Thank you, judges.
Thank you, judges. We'd just like to do a little change, please. Thank you, Tim. If you'd like to hop off, could we welcome back Mike Langford, please? And Mandy Lynn, could you hop off? And could we have Kay Davis back, please? Sorry, we'll just get a little bit of tech support there for a moment.
Just trying to bring up my thing at the bottom there somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's way down.
I'll tell you mine.
When does it go down?
Okay, are we ready, judges?
No.
Thank you.
Where's my phone gone again? Nikon sponsorship and the category sponsorship. I need to mention every now and again.
Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 82. Fairly even scoring. Are we happy with that score? Okay, thank you. Would you like to make a comment to the image, Richard?
Yeah, you know, we do talk a lot about print, but due to the size of the screen, I was able to pull out so much incredible detail in the bricks and the background. That I was really impressed by that. The narrative, I'm not sure, but I don't need to know what the narrative is. I think it's quirky and different, and it's a play on physics. Yeah, well done. I was
Thank
87.
You. Yep, 87. Thank you. So the score is 82, which is a lovely silver, and we'll accept that score. And next image, please. And while we're making the change, just once again, I'd like to remind everyone about our wonderful friends at Nikon for being our major sponsor this year and helping us make all this happen. Thank you so much to them, and we look forward to hearing them from them at the awards dinner and seeing all their wonderful products at the trade show. Okay, thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 76, which is a bronze, but we have an automatic challenge from Michael.
Yeah, I gave this 86. I actually felt it was vibrant and exciting and believable. I really enjoyed the emotions of the boys, and I think the storytelling, the whole graphic nature of it is just very original, exciting, and yeah. Took me there.
Well, all the other judges were of a similar level, so who would like to speak to that? Thank you, Richard.
I was possibly on the lower scale. I was at 74. And the reason I didn't pop it into an award category is I actually was probably completely the other side of you, Michael. Like I couldn't find the believability in it, and I felt like they've bitten off a lot. You know, this is quite a feat to create, and I felt like there was needed a little bit more refinement in the post-production, and I was struggling with the perspective.
Thank you, Elon.
Yeah, I'm with you, Richard. I was distracted. I mean, the expression on the guy on the left is stunning, and it's really engaging. The boy on the right is just, you know, has no expression. I was distracted with the sun on the right and then the graffiti on the left. So those two elements took me away. I was really struggling.
Michael.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a hard place at the moment with no support, so I'm just...
Okay, thank you. So the initial score was 76, and let's rescore, please.
I have to put the same score in again.
Yes, yes you do.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, stays at the same score, but still a bronze. Thank you for that. So we're going to have a little judge change again.
So thank you, Catherine Williams, if you'd like to hop off, and could we welcome back Jackie Rankin, please? Elon, would you like to hop off, and could we have Tanya Niwa, please?
And there's a nice little audience building in the room, which for those at home, so thank you for coming on this wild and woolly day in Nelson.
It just seemed to be.
Hope you're enjoying the proceeds.
Oh, what's happened now? We've lost a screen. How do I lose mine? How do I get mine back? Help.
Could we have a tech person, please? We just have an issue with a screen.
Before you do that. Oh, we found it. Right.
Sorry, cancel that. We've managed to sort it. Clever things that we are. Just waiting. Are we all set, judges?
Thank you, judges. It's the image scores 75, which is a bronze. Thank you. And the scoring is pretty even. Would someone like to make a comment to that image? Richard, thank you.
It was a really interesting little sort of alien-type face that's been created through sort of some experimentation work there, but my eyes were drawn to the left and the right and the hair with that bright spot in the forehead, and I would have loved to have been able to be pulled right into that face.
Thank you, Richard. So we'll accept that score, and we'll have the next image, please. Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 73. Scoring's pretty even across the board there. Are we happy with that? Comment, please, anybody? Thanks, Kate.
It's a lovely graphical image, which with the, using black and white, it's got a strength in that. But to me, I feel there's a loss of detail when we go up there and look around the peripheral edges of the elements. It almost, from here, it almost looks like figures intertwined, but I guess I'm disappointed when I do go up and see the quality.
Thank you, judges. So we'll accept that. And there's a lot of whispering going on here, so an image will appear soon.
Sorry guys, just getting some information from our lovely technical honours team.
Okay, thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 75, which is a bronze. but there are a couple of enthusiastic judges there. Would they like to take a challenge?
I've got enthusiasm.
Yeah, I thought you did. I thought you did, Mike. So take it up, my friend.
Yeah, I gave this 84. I find it sort of eye-arresting for a start. I love the fact that the colours, the warm colours, are actually coming through. They're just glowing against that cold blue background. And I think the iconography of the cross and then the power lines, I'm just finding all those things visually stimulating.
Jackie.
I give this 67 at the other end. Although I see a really big hot spot, burning hot spot, everything around the edge, sort of going into the dark, and I can feel a symbolism there for perhaps road. Somebody's been killed on the side of the road, and there's a cross. But I felt that just was destroyed by the heavy-handedness of that dark vignette, and then the crossing over of the reflected or the double cross, and then the hard light against a really soft background, and those elements weren't coming together to me to elevate it into silver.
Richard.
When I first looked at this, I was kind of in the bronze. I liked the iconography and the symbolism, that reflecting of the shapes of those telegraph poles down the road, and then mimicking that shape of the cross. It sort of made me wonder about the neighbourhood of the land, and maybe that was the light or the hope in this particular place. But what put me to silver I was up at 83, is all of a sudden this narrative grabbed me. And that was that once upon a time, the streets, possibly in Rome or wherever, could have looked like this, lined with those shapes. Not necessarily being telegraph poles, but probably many of what's in the foreground, and that kind of grabbed me. I think the hot spot we're talking about is kind of like that. It's that halo, and it's used in iconography. It's that glowing light in the area.
So those are good comments. So perhaps it leaves room for you, Michael, to bring it home.
Yeah, I actually saw the highlight as absolutely intentional, and I do see it takes it into the illustrative realm more than just a photographic realm, and it's definitely on purpose, and without it doing that, it would be quite ordinary. It's almost got that Madonna sort of treatment, and if we take that as the perspective that Rich has suggested, then I think it makes it really valid.
So that's the wonderful thing about this system, is the amalgamation of great minds and different thinking. So let's see what that came up with. Can we rescore, please? The original score was 75. Very generously risen by 2 points to 77, strong bronze. Congratulations to the photographer. We'll accept that. Next image, please. By the way, we've been told by the powers that be that you judges are doing very well, so don't feel under any pressure. We have many different category sponsors. We've got a few categories now, and this one is sponsored by the NZIPP. The most wonderful photographic association in New Zealand and the world. Okay, judges, thank you for that. We have an initial score of 79, and it's not an immediate image review. We can talk to the image if we wish. We do have a couple of enthusiastic scores here. Kay, would you like to challenge?
Yeah, I'll challenge.
Thank you.
I'm sitting on 86. I guess to start with, I really wasn't quite understanding what I was looking at, or what was being represented here. I believe, whether I'm right or wrong, and some of the other judges may be able to help me out, in the I guess the headpiece, there almost looks like all these beautiful golden soldiers, which represents probably all of the crosses that we're seeing that is in this landscape. So for me, it's about, I don't know whether it's about glamorizing loss of life and whether it be war or turmoil. I think, and that to me is creating a very, very powerful story and narrative in the image. The image itself has been beautifully crafted. There's a sense of fakeness, but that whole narrative around war and everything, it is all foreign and fake to us, but there's also this reality of death. So to me, it's a very, very cleverly crafted image.
Tanya.
Yeah, I found this image very intriguing. However, I felt very conflicted with elements within the image. We're really drawn to the leg, and there's like a conflict in the narrative where there's like this sexiness going on, and then there's meant to be sorrow. Well, perhaps there's also elements of death, and then just what let it down for me is the background material. How there's no real strong edge to it. It feels like it's been very cloned or retouched. So it was just that was the element that let it down. But what I did love hearing that you explained the soldiers in the hat, so that did help. So I just feel like there's such huge potential in this image, just a little bit conflicting.
Richard.
Yeah, look, I can see the positive points in this image. I was at 75. I just scraped it into an award there. But there was a few things that brought it down for me. That's why I couldn't go higher. There's obviously an attempt to, as well as the mention of war and death, there's an attempt to show some elegance here. Now, the lower half of this image, her skin is very magenta, and then it changes tones as it moves up into the golden sort of era. That could be intentional because it's lower down around the crosses, but it's questioning my mind. The other thing is the perspective, the choice of lens, and obviously the level and direction of how it's been photographed. And her leg and her butt and her hand especially, which is forefront of her body, are extremely big, which is obviously because they've used such a wide lens here. And it's just a little bit out of perspective for me. The tears, I struggled with the tears, and just all that sort of level of glamour, and I'm getting, it's quite a mixed message for me.
Before we go back to you, Kay, Mike, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, look, I gave it 84, and it's the conflict that you're talking about that I think's making it work, because there is definitely a pull and a push visually happening in here. The background, the texture of that background is just, it's polluted, it's ugly. There's a real foreground, background sort of pull and push, and I think that's the power of it.
Excellent. Kay.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, for that, because that is very much what I feel. The whole image is all about conflict. It's about war. It's about beauty. It's about, and we are all conflicted within that. We you know, there's people that absolutely abhor war, but there's other people that would have no hesitation to go out there and fight for what they believe. And so I think that's part of what this narrative is all about. And I think the photographers actually constructed that in a really interesting manner, and we're confronted, and that leg and everything is actually just connecting those two realms together. Yeah, so I'm sitting on silver distinction, and look at the image.
Thanks for those comments, guys. So the initial score was 79. Could we rescore, please? Well done. Thank you for that challenge there, Keith. It's taken the image to a silver range at 81. And we're going to have a judge change now, please.
Thank you, Kay and Richard. If you'd like to take some time off from the panel, please. And could we welcome back Amber Griffin and Tim Lomax, please?
It's 79, wasn't it? One of those in or out?
No, we can
No.
still talk to the printer. Yep.
Because it was in a different scoring range.
Thank you, oh, great ones.
Don't worry, we're learning as quickly as you are, Mike.
Where's it gone? It's disappeared.
Okay.
We haven't learnt that fast.
Can we have a technical support, please, for Judging Room 1, if there's someone about, please?
There's anything?
No, I meant to click on my thing, but because this is so sensitive, it's zoomed out.
I don't know Apple. Try again. Do that again. Do it again.
There's no screen. It's not showing.
Okay, you need to start that program.
If you swipe one way, it's not going to Yeah, cancel that.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We're getting better and better as time goes on, and we've sorted it out ourselves. Thank you so much.
Nicely done.
Thank you, judges.
Yeah. I'm just trying to click.
We okay, Tim?
Yeah, it's just sensitive.
Thank you.
It's been personalised.
Okay, here we go again. So the scoring is quite even, but we have a score of 79. Would anyone like to challenge that score? Michael?
I'm not challenging
Oh,
the
not challenging?
score so much, but I'd like to comment about it. To
Well, hang on for a
give us
sec. So
clarity.
just for a sec. So, Amber, you happy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'll challenge it.
Thank you.
I gave this an 84, and the reason that I scored it that highly was because I thought that the unity of expression that was portrayed by all the members of the family was really cohesive. I'm not sure why they all have their mouths zipped up, but there's definitely a really strong emotion of sadness in all of their eyes that comes through well. I like the way that it's posed and together as the family unit, especially the two daughters holding hands. There's definitely a few technical issues going on, but I just think that the emotion of the image is quite strong.
Tim, we've got you sitting at the other end, mate. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, the narrative is there. I guess I'm just left questioning as to why all the members' mouths are zipped. There's no, I guess, leading to why all their mouths are closed. I think mostly, though, I struggled on the technical side of things with the lighting. The two girls in the front, the highlights on their face are peaking and quite distracting compared to the rest of the family. And just on the skin tones around the mum's forehead, it does get a bit muddy around there. But the narrative's there, but I just put 72 just on technicality of lighting.
So before we go back to Amber, Jackie, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I'm for the print. I was on 82, and there is some kind of heart in here or emotion. The unity thing that Amber talked about is, I think, what put me there. There's some sort of authenticity to this and realness that in an unreal situation with the zips on the lips is just takes it into that other little level for me. That into that 82. Yeah, that's where.
Michael?
Yeah, initially I didn't give this a silver, but listening to the two of you, we're actually looking at a very ordinary portrait of a family, made very unordinary by the emotion, and I think that's what carries it.
Looks like a little bit of support there in the end, Emma. Bring it home, girl.
Yeah, I really, really do think that this deserves at least a silver. I think there could be so many reasons for the whole family to be gagged in that way, and it doesn't really matter what that reason is, but I think that the unity of the family, all choosing to be silent or all forced to be silent, is just a really emotive image, and I forgive the few technical issues because I think that the emotion in it is so powerful.
Thank you, Amber. So the initial score is 79. Could we rescore, judges, please? Well done. We now have a silver at 82. So we'll accept that. And next image, please. Okay, thank you, judges. We have a score of 78. Very even across the board. Is everyone happy with that? Tim, would you like to comment to the image?
Yeah, I'm sitting on 82. At first, I got quite overwhelmed by all the books, but I think that is the point. Students in this day and age are overwhelmed with information and different sources of information, and it can be quite hard to differentiate between what is the truth, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the photo. I think the lighting's really well handled and it's perfectly composed in a really strong image, so congratulations.
Thank you, that's a bronze. Accept that score. Next image, please. Thank you for that. That's a bronze at 76. Very even scoring there. Would anyone like to comment on the image? Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, beautiful narrative throughout this triptych, although I'm drawn to the frame on the left more, so I feel like the narrative could have been stronger if it was just one frame, but congratulations.
Thank you so much. We'll accept that. Pardon?
Yes.
Next image, please. Thank you for that. We have a score of 73 and very even scores across the board. Comment, Tanya?
Yeah, the composition with the object centrally placed could have been further improved by perhaps not being quite so centralised, and it could be further enhanced if the background, our eye didn't draw, sort of get lost up into the background, which is quite a lot lighter than the main subject.
Thank you for those helpful comments, Tanya. We'll accept that. We'll have a little judge change.
Mike, can I get you to hop out, and could we welcome back Catherine Williams, please? Let's wait for Catherine to log in. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay. We have a score of 85. Everyone happy with that? And perhaps we could get a comment from Tanya.
It's a really intriguing image, and it creates a lot of curiosity as to what the narrative could be. It's I guess the going from dark to light creates lots of questions, which I find very intriguing, beautifully created. Congratulations.
Well done. The scores were quite even across the board, apart from one. That's all good. We're going through it at an 85. We'll accept that. Thank you, judges. Thank you, judges. We have a score of 74. We do have an elective challenge potential from Tim if he wishes to take it up.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. This image has a beautiful tonal range to it. I was at 82 silver. Yeah, there's just a great expression in the model, and she's obviously in pain, and the fact that her wrists are chained together, there's a story there, and I think that's what lured me in. I can see some technical aspects that could bring it down, but I do think it deserves to be rewarded for the narrative in there, and I think it is strongly in there. So at least come up to a bronze.
Thank you, Tim. Let's have a look. Amber, would you like to say anything?
I agree, Tim. I think that this deserves to be in the awards range. It has a certain emotive factor to it, and I think that it's been well crafted. There are definitely a few technical issues, but I feel like this should be awarded a bronze.
So before we go back to you, Tim, Catherine, what would you like to say?
I would have been at the lower end with 70. I feel it's a very literal presentation that's been given to us. I find the control of the lighting, it's where we've got a lot of bright on her forehead and on her shoulder, and that is where my eye is gravitating towards, instead of towards her her expression of angst and pain and fury and everything that we're sort of wanting to see. Our eye isn't being directed there or being held there. There's a lot of darkness through her hands as well, so we're seeing the back of her hand is lit, the insides of her hand where the content is quite dark and quite murky.
Thank you, Catherine. Tim?
Yeah, I can definitely see those technical aspects in the bright spot on the shoulder, but I really do think just for the narrative alone, this should be awarded in the award range, so come on up just a little bit if you can.
Okay, we have an initial score of 74. Rescore judges, please.
Can I give the same?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we have a bronze at 75. Well done. Thank you, we'll accept that. It's obviously very interesting times we're all living in now, and we all are here because we love photography, enjoy it, taking part in it, watching it, judging it, just living it, and we're very lucky to be able to be here together. Many countries can't do this, but we're also extremely lucky to have a brave company like Nikon sponsor this gathering of ourselves, and we thank them very much for that. And just appreciate when you go to the trade show, go and support them with your purchases, all the money you're all making out there, I'm sure. Okay, thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 71. Very even across the board. I think we'll accept that. Comment, please, from anybody. Thank you, Tanya.
It has quite an inviting, gentle mood, almost like a beautiful cookbook that you might want to look at in that sort of way. It's just technically, it's quite sharp in the foreground, and yet the top area is quite blurred, yet the perspective is shooting right above. So I think there's some, maybe it looks to me that there's some retouching or some post-production that could be further improved.
Thank you for those comments. We'll accept that. Next print, please. Image, should I say. Thank you, judges. There's an average score of 73 with a fairly even scoring range there. Are we happy with that? Lots of nodding of the head sagely, but because I can only see your face, Jackie, I'm going to ask you to comment on that image.
Yes, scored at 72 as well. And I think that some of the technique or the process of making the images got in the way of the narrative. You can see a bit of a halo coming from in front and around the figure. And all the elements within the frame pulling together in a way that tells me a story beyond what's obvious. But there's potential there and some good technique, but not finessed quite enough yet.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, judges, you've just judged just under 100 images very efficiently and in good time, so thank you very much for that. We just ask that the judges remain so that we choose the panel for the, what do you call it, category winner, I suppose. And thank you very much, and thanks for everyone coming to watch as well. We appreciate that. And the sponsor for this category is the NZIPP, so we thank them also. And judges, check your lanyards, come and talk to us about that. We prefer you have yellow ones to black ones. And once again, a big thank you to our overall sponsor, Nikon. We wouldn't be here without them. Thank you so much.